No, Noriko. Like I said, you've certainly come a long way already with your foresight work and with the ways of organizing, with the ways of embedding and using this work as a part of your key processes throughout the organization. Any key advice to others out there, other organizations who are perhaps not that mature in this type of work as of yet? Any key considerations and your key advice to those ones who are wishing to, reach the position where you already are at?
I think my key one is don't wait for everything to be perfect. Just experiment and test. That's one thing that we've done as part of this entire journey, is to constantly just test our approach and not be held to it, because everyone has a different understanding of the future. Everyone has a different entry point into doing this work, what their needs might be, what outcomes they might want. And what I have found to be really useful is just to adapt to their language, adapt to their needs, and be really pragmatic. And it might be that the end product isn't necessarily a pure piece of foresight or a pure piece of foresight work, but it has helped them do their job, which has meant changing the language that I use, adapting the methodologies, really being iterative in how we communicate a foresight, about how we talk about foresight, in how we approach the tools, to meet the organization or the team or the group with what their needs might be from foresight, not from what I think their need might be from foresight. And that's been really critical, I think, because that has meant what we have done has been very useful to them and easy for them to adapt and use and adopt. One of the key things we did in developing the playbook was to go understand, for who would be the potential users of it, how did they make decisions around the tools that they used? What did they need from the tools? And how did it work best within their existing workflows? So how can we remove any source of friction from people adopting foresight approaches or new innovation approaches, so that it is easy to take that next step to try something new? So I think that's the critical thing. And just being really adaptable to shifts and changes, being adaptable to the different needs of different parts of the organizations, because different parts of the organizations have different needs from the foresight work. And being able to adapt and respond to that is really important. And understanding those different needs as well. Some groups might need that very speculative work that comes from looking at 100+ timelines, that might require a full systems thinking analysis. That's what they're going to need to deliver their work. Other groups might just need some insights which help broaden them thinking, that help push them around, well, the difference between what's an emerging response and what's new and the risks associated with that versus what might actually just be an efficiency. So it's about really being able to respond to the needs within your organization of who will be using it or who you might want to adopt it.
Love it. And if you don't mind me saying this, I hear you intuitively and immediately answering, not based on foresight methodologies, but rather starting out with making sure you're connected with the people who need the outputs, with the key processes, with the key stakeholders, their expectations, their needs, their capabilities as well, and adapting both your set of tools, your set of methodology, your set of terminology to to match their expectations and their terminologies and so on. And also the second part, being aware of that contextual setup where this foresight work is actually being applied for, the actual use cases of those key stakeholders and those key processes. Love it. Thank you so much, Noriko. What a pleasure.
My pleasure.